my crafty friends, it's Sharon Luska here from My Crafty Greetings. I wanted to make a quick announcement. My shop on Etsy, My Crafty Greetings, has now restocked the Cut Perfect die cutting sheets. So they are available for you to purchase. If you haven't watched that video, you should. I'll try and link it up in the right hand corner here. So we're going to make something cool here. I have a laminating pouch and I'm just going to get this started going through the laminator. I have a big package of them and I've shown you in a previous video how to take packaging from your dies and reinforce them. And now I'm going to show you how to make press and seal on steroids. So the first thing you need is a fused together laminating pouch. Nothing in it, just take it out of the package and throw it through. And then you need some press and seal, and what you're going to do is pull a good bit of press and seal out of the package and you're actually going to apply it to this sheet. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Do the best you can to get it nice and flat. I think my box of press and seal, with the amount of traveling that it has done, it's caused the edges to kind of curl in a little bit. But I'm just using this little Cricut scraper thing to help apply it down. You can use just about anything. There's so many tools. If you've got even a silicone spatula, you can use that to drag across this and to get it to lay down smooth, or just use your hands, whatever you've got. So now that we've got that applied, we are just going to take the press and seal and we're going to flip it over. So now the press and seal is towards my tabletop. The laminating folder is on top of the press and seal, and the side of the press and seal that's coming out of the box is the sticky side. So we're going to fold this over to basically coat both sides of that laminating pouch. So both sides of the laminating pouch are going to be coated with press and seal. The sticky part of the press and seal is inside all of this. So there's no sticky side out. You basically have the sticky side wrapped around that laminating pouch. And now what we need to do is we need to get rid of all of these extra pieces hanging off, and we also need to cut this pouch down a little bit smaller in size. So if you take an extra 1/2 inch off the pouch on the top and 1/2 inch on the side, that's going to do it. We just need to make sure that this entire piece is smaller than the next laminating pouch, because we're going to take another laminating pouch from the bag here, a brand new one. We're going to open it up and then we're going to slide this piece that we just made inside that laminating pouch. So you can see around the edges there, I've got some good space. It doesn't have to be exactly, 1/2 inch. Just make sure that it is smaller than the laminating pouch that you're sending through. So I don't know if you've ever noticed this thing here. This is to help you rewind press and seal that's sticking out. And the best way to do it is to let this press and seal lay on the table and then roll it in so that it makes its own tension. So here is the freshly sealed up pouch. Now you can see I've got a little crease inside the press and seal. It's not going to hurt anything, don't worry about it. So what we're going to do is we need to cut off some of each of the sides again, and a 1/2 inch would be great. And we're going to be sliding this inside, yes, one more laminating pouch. Basically, the more laminating pouches that you use, the thicker that your sticky sheets are going to end up being. And I haven't gone past laminating twice, maybe 3 times would make them really thick. I'm not sure, but 2 seems to be a good amount. So now what we're doing is we're cutting off the sides, and we want to cut a little bit into where you can see the foggy part of that press and seal, so you can see the color change. You want to make sure that when you cut it, you cut a tiny bit of that foggy part there, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to peel these apart. So just a little bit, and you can see the foggy is on the scrap there, and so we're going to turn it around and take that extra bit off. Now I'm lining mine up because I want mine to be nice and true squared, so that if I use them in my Stamparatus, or it's not a Stamparatus, that's Stampin' Up, stamp platform, well, all these stampy things, So anyways, I want to be able to have it line up properly. So you can see here, I've peeled off the top layer and it is sticky and it's thick. So these aren't going to flip off. I can use this for ink blending or stamping, for holding an arrangement together while I glue it. So there's the other sticky. So you're going to get 2 sticky sheets out of this and then a central carrier. So there's that original laminating folder that we used to stick the press and seal to. So now I would recommend that once you've got them apart, nip a little corner off, because that's going to allow you to be able to get them off of here more easily. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can always take a little piece of tape. And of course, I grabbed the wrong tape, but I'm going to show you with this tape anyways, because it's going to be fast and easy. So if you want to, instead of cutting the corner off, you can take a little piece of tape and just stick it onto the sticky side to sticky side. And then once you have those corners coated, then you can go ahead and trim off any of the extra. And of course, anytime I do something like this, I like to make sure that it's all nice and perfect. So I'm going to use my guillotine cutter here to trim off the extra bits of tape. And then that way the corners are going to be true and straight, and I won't have to worry about extra hunks of tape hanging out all over the place. So either or, you can do this snip of the corner, or you can tape it so that it doesn't have sticky. That's basically what the tape is doing, is preventing it from being sticky immediately on that corner and allowing you to grab it off. So now here is idea number 2. If you have vinyl transfer tape, Cricut is the brand that I have. You also can laminate that. Now, I have not tried MacTac or any of the kind of shelf sticky papers that they have at something like the dollar store, but you can see it's just clear and sticky, but it is thin. And so, you know, if you were going to be ink blending or something like that, it would not give you good durability. So, and mine is stained here. You have to excuse that. That is thanks to the Myrtle Beach weather. And I'm not going to waste it. We're going to use the stained part because it's just on the paper. So first thing you need to do is you need to cut it down. So I'm going to take this to 8.5 inches, which would be like a sheet of paper. And then I'm also going to cut it off at 11 inches. Now you're going to need 2 pieces, because otherwise what you're going to be laminating is the paper backing. And if you don't care about laminating the paper backing, you do you. But what I did was I wanted to make sure that I got 2 useful mats out of one go at this laminating. So of course it's rolled up. It's not going to go into the laminating pouch easily. I'm going to have to fight it and beat it into submission. But it's like a bad child at this point. It just pops back up and does what it wants. So what we're going to do is we're just going to grab a little bit of ATG, and I'm going to put some ATG on this this backer that's on the sticky part. And just 3 lines of ATG, just enough to make these 2 sheets stick to each other. And as one pulls one way and the other rolls the other way, they're actually going to equalize each other out into something that's flat enough to go through our laminator. So I'm going to fight with this and do my best to stick it together. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel at this point, I sure would love it if you would. I do wacky, crazy things here. I am an out-of-the-box thinker. I like to make things do differently than what they're designed for. And so if you click that subscribe, I promise you, you will not regret it. And give me a thumbs up if you think this is a cool idea. Leave me a comment. I love it all. And do share this with your friends, because I don't know anybody who wouldn't benefit from doing this. Unless you decide you're going to make these for your friends as gifts, then don't share it with them. You can tell them it was your idea. So we have it in the laminating pouch, both sheets that have been stuck together, and we're just going to send this on through and get this all laminated. You can try many different things in a laminating pouch. Have no fear of your laminator. If you want to put something in, you go for it. And I think I was just showing you there that I did get something stuck in between, not that it's going to matter. So we need to cut this smaller again, and I missed the footage of me cutting off the edges, and what I did was I went around and cut 1/4 inch off of each edge. So you can see here, see how nice that is? Still not thick enough, but much thicker than it was as transfer tape and definitely much more useful. So we're going to put one more layer of laminating pouch on this. And once we do that, that's going to give it a nice durable thickness that if you want to use it for, you know, your ink blending or keeping your paper flat while you're working on it, or, you know, stamping on, you can use it as a mask for ink blending. You could probably even die cut it, or at the very least cut it into shapes that if you wanted to do, you know, something selective with your stencils, or maybe we could even make a stencil. I haven't tried that. But there's lots of things that you can do with a good sturdy sticky sheet. And let's not forget Jennifer McGuire. Watching her, I'm sure you'll see tons of uses for them. Okay, importantly to know, if you're going to do a press and seal sheet, it is going to be light duty stickiness. And if you want something that has a heavier kind of stickiness to it, that's where you're going to use the transfer tape. So transfer tape is going to give you about double the sticky that your press and seal will. I hope that makes sense. Now, one of the great tips that I can tell you too, I don't know if you've ever found that when you're cutting, things kind of buckle up and don't cut straight for you. I use just a piece of acrylic that I buy at Home Depot and put that on top of what I'm cutting to put some pressure on it to make sure that the blade passes through accurately. So now that I've got this all cut up, I've got my nice thick sticky sheet here. It's about as sticky as a mat that you'd use in a plotter cutting machine. And you can see here I've got my little pieces. These are from Scrappy Tales, the new release that they have. I colored them up for my next video, and I can peel them off very easily with this if I just roll it out of the way. And this is like full on sticky here. Now when I'm ready to store this, I'm just going to put it back on that carrier sheet that is on the back when we put it through the laminating. And I've got out my stamp platform here by Tim Holtz. I want to use our new sticky sheet to hold my paper while I'm stamping, but I'm going to use some two-sided tape just to hold it in place inside my stamp platform. And you could easily put a couple pieces of sticky tape in there, two-sided tape, whatever's going to work best for you, or if you have a lot of magnets. But this will allow you to keep your paper in perfect position while you're stamping. Now I'm stamping this beautiful cup that comes from Scrappy Tales, but of course this ink spot has gone terrible. I'm not sure what all these grimy grubbies are, but this brought up another question. What do we do when these are dirty? Can we wash them? Well, you know I gave it a try, and guess what? You sure can. I just put them in the sink and ran tap water over them, and it took off any little bits of paper and the ink. And once they were dry, the sticky came back 100%. So hopefully you had fun watching my video today and have some time to get crafty. Thanks so much for joining me. Have an awesome day. Bye!